Hello, this is Rev Pipster here, and just responding to some videos I've just seen, been listening to while I work on whether Jesus rose from the dead. There are some debates which are done by Shadid Lewis and David Wood, moderated by James White, in 2008, Easter Sunday, and they're debating on the crucifixion and the resurrection. I think there's a bit of confusion on terms here from Shadid, because he's confusing the term spirit and spiritual. I think there's a big difference there between spirit and spiritual. He seems to think they're the same thing, which I don't think they are. I really don't think they refer to the same thing, because he quotes assuming as a reliable source the Gospels, and saying that Jesus showed himself to the disciples after his so-called execution and resurrection as a physical person, a physical being. He's saying, "Handle me and see, give me some food," and he eats in front of him, and they're saying, "Well," and he's saying, "Well, there you go. For your own scriptures say so." So is that true? Is that reliable? Is that 100% from an Islamic perspective? That part of the Gospels accounts true, that Jesus came in a physical body, that he was like this, and he could be handled and touched. According to Shadid, obviously it does, and it supports your argument. Okay, now I'm not going to go into other Gospels and parts of the Gospel, other stories now, but in the same passages, it does actually, which he quote to support your argument. It clearly says that the disciples were cowering, they were hiding in a secure room. I like to ask this question: if, you acknowledge that it's not a spirit and not a ghost, you acknowledge that, but there is something different about this. This is why I'm confused. I think you're confused over what spirit and spiritual is referring to. Okay, because the spiritual body, as David Wood goes on to say, is a body that's empowered and basically exists on a spiritual level. But of course, has a physical aspect to it. And of course, it would be a spiritual body, would be different from the natural body, but also be different from a spirit body, because spirits, just wouldn't be physically tangible to us. I'd like to ask a question, and perhaps you could answer this one. If Jesus was an ordinary man, if Jesus, whether he died or not, just came back as a physical human being, a natural physical human being, how did he get into the room? You agree with everything else in the scriptures, particularly in those aspects of the gospel, that he was there in a physical body. He said, "Handle me and see, I ate," and you consider that proof. All the evidence from the gospels, from all of them, say the disciples were in a secured room, and they're very clear in saying that the doors and windows and stuff were locked. He's not a spirit. You've already said that. He's not a spirit. He is a physical man. How did he get into the room? Was he already in there? Was he hiding? Whatever. I don't know what you'd like to say, but perhaps you'd like to look at those scriptures again. The scriptures, you say it's absolutely true, and it supports your argument that Jesus was a physical human being. Can you tell me how Jesus got into the room that was locked, and presumably the shutters and everything else and the windows were also secured? Can you tell me how he got into the room? Why is it the scriptures always say Jesus was among them, not hiding in the corner, hiding under a lampshade on his head, hiding behind the curtain. No, he was among them. Can you explain that, please, without how he could have done it, without there being some sort of supernatural element? Thanks so much.